So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Tommy Robinson after he's declared he can't afford a lawyer. So this is despite in 2018 him making bank from donations. So Tommy Robinson has left prison with more money and more backers after a swell of support. For this is from 2018, I have to stress, late 2018. Let's have a look at the date again. August 2018. So what's that, about just over 2 years ago? So Tommy Robinson has left prison with more money and more backers after a swell of support from right-wing activists, according to new research. The far-right figurehead could be jailed again at a new court hearing where he faces contempt of court allegations. I think that was all written off anyways in the end. But he is currently a free man after judges at the Court of Appeal quashed a 13-month sentence at Leeds Crown Court as a result of a fundamentally flawed process. Robinson's release was greeted with jubilation by supporters. So international protests started. In May, he received almost 20 grand in Bitcoin. Since that date, so between May and August, he received about 20 grand. Followers from as far afield as Istanbul and Washington sent him money, including a payment of more than £5,000, which passed through his Bitcoin wallet on the day he was imprisoned. So he's making money. People are paying his legal fees, paying to support his family, etc., etc. Online retailers have also made an unknown amount of profit by selling a range of free Tommy merchandise, all this stuff here. And now we find out the search is on for Tommy Robinson's assets as he declares bankruptcy. So it's possible that he might be bankrupt. I don't know what he could have spent all his money on. It's also possible that he's just, given his assets to other people because he's under the assumption he's going to lose his libel case that's coming up because he's being sued by, I think it's a Syrian, I think it's a 16-year-old kid that Tommy Robinson libelled. It should be in this article, to be fair. Yeah, there is. The founder of the English Defence League, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, and who was one of Britain's best-funded activists, filed for bankruptcy before a trial which he's being sued for libel by a Syrian refugee. Robinson once had more than 1 million social media followers and was able to raise huge amounts of appeals for donations. He drove expensive cars, was pictured wearing clothes and watches worth thousands of pounds, and had cosmetic dentistry. In 2018, he claimed he'd received more than £350,000 of donations in 2 weeks and was said to have banked more than £2 million. He has suffered from a loss of income after social media companies through which he appealed for donations and received advertising revenue banned him for hate speech. As part of his bankruptcy, the official reviewer will search for concealed assets, including any put into other people's names. Robinson, 38, used the name Stephen Yaxley Lennon for his bankruptcy. Paul Roos of the financial advisory firm Mazars said Mr. Lennon will now be required to disclose his assets and liabilities to the bankruptcy trustee, and the bankruptcy trustee will also conduct a thorough investigation into his circumstances leading to Lennon's bankruptcy. So if they said that, he's given a load of assets away in order to do this, it's going to look pretty dodgy. His bankruptcy uses the address of a house owned by his mother and stepfather in Sislo, Bedford, despite reports that he and his wife are living in a £950,000 detached house. In July last year, he was filmed at the Manola Santana Rackets Club in Marbella. Robinson has said he made a fortune after going into business with a developer owning 7 homes and tanning shop business by the age of 25. He was then jailed for 18 months in 2018 after admitting mortgage fraud. Real man of the people there, Tommy. There was no mention of the bankruptcy when he appeared at the High Court in London on Wednesday for a preliminary hearing in a libel case which he has claimed he has already left him £380,000 in legal bills, but he's got about 2 mil, and he's got a string of houses by the looks of things. Robinson is being sued by Jamal Hijazi, a Syrian refugee who was filmed at age 16 being attacked at Almondsbury School in Huddersfield. Robinson claimed that he was not innocent. He also claimed that he did a load of other things. At the preliminary hearing, Robinson said he would have to represent himself in the case because he could not afford a lawyer. Robinson also claimed that it had resulted in the breakdown of his marriage, and I've not been in a great place mentally. Maybe you shouldn't libel people. Tommy Robinson has told the High Court that he can't afford a lawyer and represent himself in a libel trial against a Syrian refugee. I mean, if he's this broke, surely he should be able to apply for legal aid. I mean, this seems like a ploy to just get more money donated to him, to be honest. An English Defence League, the English Defence League founder is being sued by Jamal Hijazi, who was filmed as he was attacked in a school playground in Huddersfield. The video caused outrage when it was posted in 2018, I remember that. Mr. Robinson's real name, Yaxley Lennon, made disputed claims about the teenager in 2 Facebook videos. That's why you should be careful about what you see in social media, for kids. Mr. Hijazi, who was a 16-year-old student at Almondbury School when the attack footage was filmed, denies a number of claims made by Yaxley Lennon. The court heard he said Mr. Hijazi violently attacks young English girls in his school, beat a girl black and blue, and threatens to stab another boy at his school. Mr. Yaxley Lennon said he will rely on the defence of truth against the libel claims. That's funny, because that guy does not know what truth is. So at a preliminary hearing, he said he's been forced to represent himself. He told Mr. Justice Griffiths his former solicitor will not be representing him because he owed her quite a bit of money at the moment. Well, you got $2 million in the bank though, and a £980,000 house. So he's obviously registered living at his mum's address because he doesn't want them to take this house. Clearly, Mr. Lennon said his mental health has suffered. Matters to do with this case resulted in a breakdown of his marriage. Again, stop libeling people. He asked for more time to prepare witness statements to support his case, telling the court he was recently stopped by Yorkshire Police when he was attempting to gather evidence in Huddersfield. Mr. Lennon said officers had also taken his mobile phone, which contained potential witness phone numbers, and would not return it until this weekend. He also claimed that several potential witnesses would only be willing to give evidence anonymously, as they did not want to be associated with myself in the court case. Gee, I wonder why they wouldn't want to be associated with you, Tommy. Obviously, witnesses would be vetted as well, so it wouldn't be him trying to say that it's a random guy, his mate Jake or something, oh yeah, I saw exactly what happened. It's like, Jake, you're 35, mate, what were you doing around a bunch of school kids? It wouldn't be that kind of situation. It's going to have to, everything, all the witnesses would have to be vetted. There would just be, their identities would just be hidden from the public. In written submission, Mr. Hijazi's barrister Ian Helmy said the defendant's difficulties are not related to the current situation in relation to COVID, but due to the fact that he's unable to identify individuals who are prepared to give evidence under oath to support his case. Mr. Helmy said it was profoundly unfair to delay the trial further, as Mr. Hijazi has had to live with the claims hanging over him for a long time now, so since 2018, so it's about probably two and a bit years. The allegations were published more than 2 years ago, he said, and had remained uncorrected in that time. Indeed, the defendant has stated that he intends to prove them true at trial, he said. Given the defence of truth, vindication is essential. Mr. Lennon has been given until next Friday to file witness statements, which he intends to rely before a pre-trial review at the end of March. So I think he's most likely done this to avoid, because he thinks he's going to lose. So therefore, he's declared bankruptcy already in order to not give any money. It's like Monopoly. He's landed on Mayfair. It's like, I've got no money. I'm bankrupt. I'll see you later. I've got nothing. And then he's got, a couple mil in his back pocket. The Monopoly analogy doesn't work because once you're bankrupt, you're out. That was a bit stupid on my part. But, he's declared bankruptcy. He doesn't want to lose all his assets, clearly. All of that, that dirty EDL money and donations he's gotten from his campaign of hatred. So, yeah, this is good news. He tried to bully, a Syrian kid, a refugee. Tried to bully him by making false claims, which could have got the kid beaten up even further. Could have got him assaulted, stabbed, killed. And at the end of the day, he's getting what he deserves, which is, he's been libeled. They told him, if you got facts, bring them out, and we're gonna hopefully, all the court notes are gonna be public and all that. And we're going to actually see what this defence of truth looks like. I'm hoping he pleads insanity, to be honest. That would be funny. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's laugh at him together. And, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.